I'm Samantha, and I'm here to go over the books that I read for October. I had gotten quite a bit read this month, surprisingly, so I am going to just jump right into reading off what my stats were. For October, I read 13 books, which averaged around, approximately 3,514 pages read, about 6.5 hours listened to. 2 were library books, 2 were rereads, 4 series were started, and 3 of those books were diverse reads with the sources. 6 ebooks, 5 physical, and 2 was a mixture of like reading it physically or an audiobook. Format: 2 were graphic novels, 1 was a manga, 9 were novels, and 1 was a novella. And the audience: 5 were adult, 2 middle grade, 3 new adult, and 3 YA. And for genres, 1 was an anthology, 1 dystopian, 3 fantasy, 3 horror, 3 nonfiction, 1 paranormal. So those are just kind of like a small breakdown of the books for October. Now I'm going to switch over to my notebook of reading. So the first book I had read was Life is Strange, Dust by Emma Valenci. Gave this 4 stars. I read this for Tarot TBR. This was a mood read I had used for that. I also read it for Spookoplathon and Stay Spookyathon. The artwork was really great and the story was super compelling. I had only watched gameplay of one particular Life is Strange game, and that was when Allie with Hardback Quarter and with Malice on her Twitch, she had played one of them, but this kind of goes in that same kind of like universe, so it wasn't too hard to follow even if you're like super new to the lore of it, so I really enjoyed it. 2 is M for Monster by Talia Dutton. I gave this 4 stars. This was also another mood read for Tarot TBR. Read it for Spookoplathon, Stay Spookyathon, and I really enjoyed the story of this along with the artwork. This is a Frankenstein retelling that I still need to get around to actually reading the original source material, but this is the second Frankenstein retelling that I have read and I really enjoyed it. So I'm hoping that I enjoy the original as much as I enjoy the retellings. 3 is Witch Hat Atelier Volume 1 by Kamomi Sharahama. I'm trying here. Tarot TBR mood read. Gave it 4 stars. I managed to fit this in for the Buzzword reading challenge that Books and Lala host. The art for this is super stunning. The whole story was really compelling. I definitely can see myself continuing on with this series in the future. 4 is Every Tool's a Hammer, Life is What You Make It by Adam Savage. I gave this 4.5 stars. Also read this for Tarot TBR. I really enjoyed it. I, of course, am a big fan of Adam Savage. I grew up watching Mythbusters and he's always been my favorite out of the group. So I've been meaning to read his book for the longest time. I just only had managed to come across it at my library. I also picked this up as audiobook on Scribd, and the audiobook was definitely really good because he narrates it as well. I think the process of reading it physically in order to see the pictures and concepts that he has in the physical book was nice, but also having him read the audiobook while seeing the pictures really helped me get through that. I highly recommend it if you are a maker or wanting to get into making things. This is really inspiring for that. 5 is Carrie by Stephen King. I gave this 3 stars. I read it for a year-a-thon, Bookoplathon or Spookoplathon, Practical Magic-a-thon, the Read Harder Challenge, and Stay Spooky-a-thon. Unfortunately, this is another Stephen King that kind of just got mid feelings for me. It was a bit boring. It's an epistolary form told in a lot of like newspaper and like research clippings and stuff like that. I actually enjoyed the movie a little bit more than reading the book, but even the 1973, I think, is the version that movie I watched, I'm still not all that pleased with. I still have the newest remake to watch, but I'm still, it's just, this is the second Stephen King book and movies that I had read and watched, and I'm just not all that thrilled about, so maybe his writing is not for me. I still plan on giving his other works a shot. It's just so far not looking too good. Number 6, Thunderhead by Neil Shusterman. Gave it 4 stars. This was a reading by candlelight pick for the month of September, and I read this for Stay Spooky-a-thon and Spookopoly-a-thon. I really enjoyed it. It definitely got really tense at the end of this book. This is the second book in the Scythe series, so I highly recommend it. I eventually would like to get to the toll super soon, so I don't forget what all happened at the end of book 2, but I really enjoyed it. 7 was a reread, which is Love is Hell. It's made, contributed by many authors. I've read this book many times. I've read it for Spookopoly-a-thon, Stay Spooky-a-thon, and Practical Magic-a-thon. It's just a collection of YA short stories that has to do with kind of like spooky love stories. So I know this is part of like a collection of like a series collection. I think there's like Prom Night is Hell and maybe a couple other things that's in that realm. I think I read Prom Nights from Hell in high school, but I actually have like my own copy of Love is Hell. I just don't have it in here right now. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. 8, Orange is the New Black by Piper Kierman. I gave it 3.5 stars. Ever since watching the TV show, I wanted to read the memoir that it's based off of. I highly recommend it. I did end up switching to the audio after a certain amount of time because I was dragging a little bit with the way that the story was told, but I thought the narrator did a good job of telling the story. Then I had read one of the few books that I actually have in front of me here. I read Raven Song by T.J. Klune. Gave it 4.5 stars. This would fit for the 52 books and 52 weeks challenge, Spookopoly-a-thon and Stay Spooky-a-thon. Definitely a favorite. I have it tabbed up a lot. I really enjoyed it. This is the second book in the Green Creek series. I highly recommend it. If you haven't read it yet, go read it now. Then I read, for book 10, The Girl Who Cried Monster by R.L. Stine. I gave it 2.5 stars. It was just bleh for me. This was also a Spookopoly-a-thon pick and Stay Spooky pick. Just me and R.L. Stine just don't get along very well, or I'm just probably, along with this being a middle grade, I'm not the targeted audience. But it's just his stories get really repetitive throughout the whole book, and I just kind of want them to be done most of the time. So, yeah, there's that. 11 is Hogwarts, An Incomplete and Unreliable Guide by J.K. Rowling. I gave that 4 stars. It's another set of short stories that's based on the Pottermore series. 12 is Dark Fever by Karen Marie Moning. I gave this 3 stars. I read it for Spookopoly-a-thon because it was a community, I think it was a community shelf pick or chance card pick, I can't remember. This is one that I've been meaning to get to because I'm slowly trying to work my way through the Goodreads Choice Award nominees and winners from like all the way back going to 2011. So this is a paranormal fantasy that involves it's like a mystery, crime, mystery, paranormal fantasy almost, where a girl goes to Ireland to try to solve her sister's murder, and she gets kind of pulled in the world of Fae, and it's pretty interesting, and I think this is the first book that I remember being set in Ireland most of the time, so I really do enjoy that, and I plan on at least giving book 2 and a shot. I believe it's such a pretty long series, maybe 11 plus books in this series, so it's probably going to take me a while if I keep continuing it. And then the last book, book 13, is Kitchen Table Magic. Pull up a chair, light a candle, and let's talk magic by Melissa Sanova. Gave this 4.5 stars. Read it for a Spookathon and finished it in time for Witchathon. I loved it. It has a lot of resources that I, of course, tapped up, and I will probably be using this as a resource for a while. It's probably going to sit on my desk for a little bit as I use it for like rituals and stuff like that. I highly recommend it, and I plan on getting her kitchen table tarot book here soon. So, but yeah, those are the books that I read for October. Let me know in the comments down below what you read for the month of October, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye guys.